What's going on, guys? Back again for another series here of TIS Hitters. Kurt, what's happening, my man?
Hey man, how are you today? It's Friday, it's end of the week, so it's time to wrap up this last bit of TIS hitters for the week. So let's get it done, hey?
Yeah, for sure. Let's get it done and get out of the way. Now, we did do the last one on a Tuesday, so we didn't get another one on Wednesday, and we said, we might do one on Thursday, but then that messes up the Friday one. So here it is, the Friday one. Next week, we'll see how we go with timing and everything, and should be all good. So just a quick wrap up today. We're going to go through the last set that we had through TIS hitters on the first video, and then we'll be going through a few that we've looked at as well. So Kurt, I'll hand it over to you.
Cool. So just quickly, as per always, quick disclaimer, you can see it on the screen. You guys all know the deal. You're all signed up to TIS through CryptoStat, so you're all pretty familiar with it. But as always, please do your own research. This is not financial advice. All right, let's quickly go into the last TIS hitters that we talked about last week. On Tuesday. So we were looking at CTSI, Quantum, Loopring, and FET. Yep. Okay, so we still believe three of them are a good trade. There's one that's sitting 50-50, but this is the quick recap. So CTSI is still a good entry, around 300 sats. We aren't going to go over the charting. We're going to save that for the ones that we have coming up now, but we did go over the charting last time, and Rev sort of touched on why we thought these ones were good trades. So it's still a good trade. Quantum still is heading towards like that 16K range, probably a good buy around 17K sats still. Loopring could fall off to like 800 sats, or it could push to 2,000 sats. It's a real 50-50 this one, Rev, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sitting at 1,300 and some sats at the moment. So yeah, definitely 50-50 there.
Yeah. FET, 340 sats, hit support, still looks pretty healthy. If it gets some volume, we could really see it have a good push. Could push right up to like 700 sats, 650 sats. So the three to still keep an eye on: CTSI, Quantum, and FET. And Loopring, it's just a 50-50, okay? So just keep an eye on that. Could take an entry, or you might want to assess it differently. Anything else to touch on those ones, Rev?
And just as we mentioned on the last one, be careful of Bitcoin and whatever Bitcoin is doing. So that will always have an effect on the sat value.
Obviously, Bitcoin has had a mega run the last, this week.
Yep.
It's crazy what's going on with Bitcoin. Obviously, it's really healthy. But yeah, as Rev said, just keep an eye on what's going on with Bitcoin over the next 24, 36 hours.
Yeah, and just to cover, there was storage as well, which we did look at, but there's nothing really interesting happening, so there's nothing for us to really say about that here.
Nothing to report on storage.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
Yep. So the current TIS hits that we've evaluated today on the 23rd, the first one is ONT. Okay, so its current CMC ranking is 48. Current USD price is 5 cents. Sat value is sitting around that 427 mark. 24-hour trading volume is 60 Bitcoin. The number of pings that has hit in TIS trading in Discord, it's had 5 trade notifications this week, this month, all buy trade notifications. So that's a really healthy sign for us. We give this rating out of 10 is probably around a 6. Yep. Okay, so Rev's going to quickly just jump into the chart, go over ONT, and then we'll touch on the next one.
Yeah, so here it is. We're going to go through ONT at the moment. Let's bring up the chart really quickly. I have a few notes here for it as well from when I was just checking it out before. Just move it out of the way so you guys can still see it and see what we're looking at here. So as Kurt mentioned, 5 pings, more volume than most actual altcoins right now through Binance. Binance is struggling to push volume anywhere near an altcoin at the moment. And yeah, that's what we're seeing across the board. Now, today was a big day for TIS. It had like 50 pings on a short term and like 30 or 40 pings, I think, on a medium term. And we had to go through every single one, and that was not easy. So to kind of pick a few out of it was, it was quite a challenge, but we did it. Usually we don't see that many, but it is kind of telling us something is happening if Bitcoin is slowing down, or because most alts have sort of, found that bottom here, or trying to find a bottom or a new bottom from a sat value perspective, that there is people eyeing them off and going for them. So ONT does look pretty good. We did look at, I believe it was the 4-hourly. 4-hourly here. Yeah, and you can see that, yeah, it is, struggling to have any high. I mean, I don't particularly like ONT personally, but it does, when it does move, it moves. So you know, you have some decent moves throughout it. But you can see right there, this is on a daily chart. This is a sort of almost bottom out here for ONT. So there is a decent, there could be a decent buy here, and hopefully we can get to the 700 sat range through the 99-day MA as well there. And look out for it breaking out of this monthly MA here. That's pretty much all we can see on it, but it does have volume, and it is at the bottom there. So it could potentially be a great trade, Kurt.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, so here we are back with RLC, currently 115th ranked on the CMC market cap, sitting at around 90 cents. Sat value is 6,974. Still quite low volume, as Red was saying. Binance is struggling everywhere for across the board with alts and their volumes. Number of pings, it has had 4 pings for the buy for this month. And another one that we do believe is potentially buying bottom here with RLC. The rating on this one is probably the highest out of all 4 today, and it's a 7 out of 10. So let's jump over to the charts, and we'll have a quick to run some quick TA on it.
Yes, sweet as. Let's check it out and bring that up. So here's a chart on RLC, and what I love about RLC and TIS is TIS has a really great hitting rate on this. It's almost nailed every single trade. Whether it was 1,000 sats, 2,000 sats, 500 sats, it's done pretty well transitioning from a sell position to a buy position. Now, it also does dollar cost averaging. As you can see, TIS hits multiple times in a row for a short term. It could do it, 3-4 times in 3 days. So it is kind of like an averaging in sort of process as well at the same time. But you can see here straight away from an hourly, from a short term perspective, where RLC is sitting. Now, TIS pinged it on a medium term, but from a short term perspective, on the hourly, you can see exactly what it's trying to do right here in this chart here. It's writing out that 100-day MA, testing it out, and seeing if it can go for a push. So the last time I believe there was a sell position, it was at like 8.8, I believe, on TIS. So we're talking right somewhere in this sort of range where my cursor is at the moment, and within this drop here. And that's probably where it lost it as well. TIS kind of caught that it was going to lose its 100-day MA. It had an idea that it was happening, and we've never really gone for it. But we can see the move down is slightly exhausted. It's not as strong anymore, and you can see that changing pattern here, because like you got this major drop, slight push up, major drop, slight push up, but now it's only a small drop as opposed to this here, and we're trying to push that 100-day MA again. So from a short-term perspective, it looks good. From a MACD perspective, we're above the 0 line. We are pushing an unconfirmed bullish moment there. So we need this hourly to close. And if it does, I think it's going to be pretty cool from a short-term perspective to see a move here.
Yeah, definitely comes in as well, right?
For sure. And then if we go back to the 4-hourly, we can see the weekly MA is trying to push the monthly MA right now and trying to break through. So a move maybe to potentially 7.5 is probably something that we're going to see in the next maybe 12-24 hours, and that's about 7-8% of a move right there from where it is currently, and we've looked at it under 7,000 sats. Currently it's over 7,000 sats, so we can already see that there is some sort of movement happening there. But yeah, RLC has definitely been, TIS has really been on point with it, so we're happy to give this a 7 out of 10, possibly even an 8 out of 10. Maybe that's giving it too much credit, but you know what, at the end of the day, if Bitcoin just does chill out, we could see this really move, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, RLC does look like a cracking of a trade. We'll jump into the next 2. These are our final 2 for this video today. So the other one is ZRX. We've had some good success with ZRX. TIS has caught a few good trades on ZRX. So it's done it again. 53 on market rank, 38 cents, currently around that 2948 sat range. Bitcoin volume is 46. It has had 2 pings recently. They're actually short-term pings around that 3,000 sat range. We're currently giving this a 5 out of 10. So we'll quickly jump over to the charts and have a quick look.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. Let's check it out. Yeah, let's check it out now. So ZRX is here. Let's bring that up. And just looking at my notes here, it's looking to push resistance from what we were seeing at 5k sats. That's a potential move there for it to get there. I know that's a long way away, and that's almost like a 70 or 80% trade there, but we are ranking it as a 5 out of 10. So we're not overly bullish on it, but we feel that there may be a potential trade in it. So if we look on the hourly here on it, and just looking at, I don't really have too much to say about it, and that's why it's ranked at a 5 out of 10. I don't have too much information on it, and it is kind of bottomed out here as well. Once again, holding that straight line there, which is actually a little bit higher than where we are, so we've fallen off that. But potentially what we want to look at, I think it was on a bigger time frame that we were looking at it, maybe a daily, and there it is. Yeah, so we want to get it to this sort of range, and it could potentially start smacking this 5,000 sat range here, which seems to be a sort of support range, maybe even 4.8. So there's at least an 1,800 sat value move here if we get what we want to get. Potentially we could be touching this 100 AMA at 4,000 sats, have a little breather down, and then push back up as well. But not really much on the charts. ZRX just has really random spikes, and for TIS to really just give us a little hit, hey, look at ZRX, is enough for us to have a look at it and check it out. So yeah, there's not really much here, Kurt, on ZRX besides that, and that's why we have ranked it at a 5 out of 10.
But we do have a good history with ZRX and TIS. That's something that catches our eye when it comes in.
For sure, 100%. All right, we'll move on to the next one. So I'll just bring that up for you, Kurt. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one we're going to cover is KMD. CMC rankings 128, currently sitting at 50 cents. Sat value is around 3,860. Low Bitcoin volume, as we've discussed before, 16 BTC. However, 6 pings to buy KMD this month. That's like one of the highest that we've had so far in October. So, that does signify something to us. It does put it on our radar for us. Sitting around that 6 out of 10 buy rating, I think it could be a little bit higher of a rating just for the number of pings it's had. Definitely one that I'm keeping an eye on. So let's quickly have a look at the charts and see what it's doing.
Yeah, for sure. Right, so let's check out the charts for KMD. This is all on cryptostat.org. Obviously, we're charting all this stuff right there. So another thing on KMD as well is when Kurt, you mentioned that it's had a lot of TIS pings, one of the highest this month. And we're not talking about, the low sat ones like Doge, Hot, Hollow. This is quite a high sat value one for it to ping this many times. It's in 3,870 sats. It's not someone that we're talking like a 20, 30 sat range. So for it to have this many pings, it means someone's definitely happening there within the algo trying to identify a potential trade. On the hourly there, nothing really there to be looking at besides, once again, because the Bitcoin bottomed out and is trying to find its sideways action here, the bearish momentum's kind of slowed down there and it's just kind of trying to ride it out now. And on the hourly, we're looking at 412 on the 100-day MA and a potential push out of it. Now, it's failed many times to get its head above on the hourly there on the 100-day. If you look in the 4-hourly, once again, same thing, that momentum's dropped on the bearish move. It's just kind of trailing sideways at the moment, and that 100-day MA sits at 465 sats. So there is a potential trade out of it, and what we essentially want to look at is something similar to this pattern here. A big fall down right there. Excuse the cars in our area. And what we will potentially want to look for is a big fall down there and a sideways action. And for these, this 25 monthly MA and 100-day MA to meet, and then a push out and a really nice push out. You can see where it went to, 857 sats here from 500. There's a nice 60-70% move. If you can capitalize on that and just get 30-40%, you'd be pretty happy. So that's what we're really looking for here. It definitely needs more volume, so that's something I'll be keeping an eye out on KMD, and that's something that we have evaluated in here. You can see the 4-hourly is actually confirmed on 3 bars there that it is in a bullish range, but it's not above the 0 line, so it's kind of like a 50-50 on a MACD. It's not really that strong. But if we look here, and this is what really pushed it here last time, we were above the 0 line and we went bullish and we went for it. We came under for a few hours here, maybe a day or two, and then we pushed right back again, and it was a decent trade from there. So we always look for a confirmation, and this has confirmed that it is above. It is bullish on a MACD, but it isn't above the 0 line there. So let's have a look on the daily, just to give us a bigger perspective. And this is something that KMD has struggled, and I think there was a chart that did this for so long. It just ranged and it found this top every single time. But the moment it broke out of that, it went ballistic and it just took off. And that's what you want to look for. You want to look for a potential move out. So you can see that line right there. Let's zoom in a little bit more. It's probably around the 900 sat range. If we use the bodies, it's probably just under 900 sats. These tweezer tops here, 840. If we do push out here and we really push, it's watch out for KMD. Definitely, it's go time. I'm not saying it's right now, but yeah, it's something to really watch out. But that volume is crucial, and it needs to be there as well.
Yeah, I think volume across all these alts is crucial at the moment. But yeah, it's basically let's watch BTC first.
100%, definitely. So yeah, that's pretty much it, Kurt. From my end, there's nothing else that I've got to go from there.
So that's it for today, 23rd. That's our Friday video for all the TIS hitters. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for joining us today. If you're not already a subscriber to Cryptofy YouTube, please follow and hit the notification bell down below. Drop a comment on which one you think is going to do the best: ZRX, KMD, RLC, or what was that other one? ONT. ONT. Yeah, drop a comment down below. Follow us. If you have not registered or are using TIS at the moment, you can subscribe via cryptostat.org. The link will be down below, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Wherever you are, enjoy your weekend. Keep an eye on the crypto space. Things are definitely heating up. Take care. See you later. Bye.
Sure. Take care. Cheers, guys.